And hello, everyone. So this is welcome to our Aliran webinar on disabilities. So before I begin, let me say a little bit about Aliran. In case you don't know, it is Malaysia's first multi-ethnic reform movement dedicated to justice, freedom, and solidarity. It is an NGO, and it's mostly what we work on a wide range of issues. So today our thing is on let's see, what's the title? An Inclusive Malaysia: The Challenges People with Disabilities Face. So we reach out to two people, Lye Tuck-Po and Tur Chung or Tur Chung?
Tur Chung.
Tur Chung. Okay, sorry. And Mr. Alvin Teoh. And Tur Chung is we will go in that order. And so we will start with Tur Chung. He was born completely deaf, and he hasn't worn a hearing aid since graduating from pre-university. He was one of the first batch of disabled people to be accepted into the Teachers Training Institute, where he became a qualified teacher after graduating with a diploma in teaching. After over 5 years at Sekolah Rendah Pendidikan Khas in Shah Alam, he went to UKM and subsequently got his master's degree at the same university. He has over 10 years of teaching experience of deaf children and children with learning difficulties at Sekolah Menengah Pendidikan Khas Vokasional, Shah Alam. So he is now a PhD candidate and a Fulbright scholar, and to study a PhD, he had to step out of his comfort zone when he went to study his PhD in a foreign country. After winning the Fulbright scholarship, he was able to pursue his PhD, which has been a challenging yet rewarding experience. It has allowed him to broaden his perspectives and enhance his skills in the field of deaf education on a global scale. So I'm not sure what is the title of his talk, so why don't you start now, Tur Chung?
Wait, just give me a... Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for the introduction. Wait, just because of the... Yeah, hello. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the invitation from Aliran to invite me to present. It was actually Dr. Anthony, but unfortunately, he was not able to present, and I'm representing the deaf community here. I have done presentation when I was studying in US and now here in Malaysia. I'm working as a deaf person, I'm working alongside with Lucy to voice for me. And there will be a time where there will be delayed speech or even delayed signing. And thank you for the introduction. And my topic is inclusivity or inclusion of Malaysian, uh, and the challenges faced by persons with disabilities. Yeah, and I know I have a number of knowledge and experience, yes, as working with persons with disability, as I myself am hearing impaired or am deaf. The opportunity to study in US was totally different, and it sort of there is a certain gap in working here, all my experiences here and my experiences in America. But you can see that there is so much more improvement in Malaysia compared to before, and there is progress. However, there should be more inclusion for members of the society to accept us and to have more respect and understanding about persons with disability in getting accessibility and providing the correct support to our OKU community. I would like to further discuss about focusing on the for deaf people in particular, and in particular, deaf people also faces disability and of course discrimination in many areas. Yeah. One of it is the physical side. You will notice that deaf people, if you see them, you think that they are just like any other persons. The only setbacks that they don't have is that they can't hear. And these are all what we call the invisible handicap. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is when you say invisible, it is not seen physically. Yeah. And having an invisible handicap, which is our deafness, we missed out a lot on information in getting inputs and also
And we
accessibility.
having an invisible handicap, which is our deafness, we miss.
Sorry about that. There's some technical issues just now. So, information that you all get as non-deaf because you can hear in the radio or you can hear from people's conversation. However, with deaf people, it is delayed information. We don't get that information as quickly as possible. And most of our messages the information we got is from written word or even through a sign language interpreter. So the interpreters are like our bridge, where it connects people, it connects the community and the deaf people in coming together and able to be included in all spheres or in all areas. For information, our deaf people are not fluent nor proficient in written languages, and are not good lip readers. So we cannot hear what others are talking. So we are really dependent on the sign language interpreters to get information. And deaf people have difficulty when you want to write and for them to have reading skills because it will take a long time for them to comprehend and to write their questions. The other view is some of the challenges that we face. We call it our linguistic discrimination. That people face linguistic discrimination because at this time, even our sign language uh, is being looked into or is being disrupted because of the use of KTBM, which is the uh, Code Tangan Bahasa Melayu, and also our BIM, which is our Bahasa Isyarat Malaysia. The ACTA OKU 208 has accepted that the deaf people uses BIM for communication. However, in schools, they are still using Kod Tangan Kod Tangan Bahasa Melayu, which is devised by the hearing people, whereas BIM is devised by the deaf people themselves. But again, it is not under the it's not so-called recommended, but only in schools it's for KTBM. So deaf people should be the deciding factor of the sign language that they want to use, which is the Bahasa Isyarat Malaysia. For example, orang asli, or orang asal, they have their own language and it is respectable. But the deaf people, their BIM is not respectable. So you can see an inequality here in terms of the community uses the language. So we call that the linguicism, yeah, or the linguistic discrimination, and it's how people's perspective on it. If one accepts or supports the linguicism rather than have the discrimination, yeah, some non-deaf people, the hearing people, think that the sign language is like a broken spoken language or a broken language per se. However, in fact, BIM has its own grammar and structure that is equivalent to another language, or what we call equivalent to a spoken language. It's just that it uses a different grammar and structure. There are about 300 sign languages in the world that is being used by the various communities. Some countries have recognized it as the language, and one of it is New Zealand. And most parts of the European countries. In Korea and some Asian countries have recognized that their national sign languages, national sign language used in the country are recognized and it's legal. The second part I would like to bring up is some of the challenges that deaf people face is on autism. Autism, it's like the community able to decide, but in the deaf autism here, it's basically most of it decided by the hearing people with the message, I decide for you, or I will be the one to make the decision, rather than the deaf people standing up for it. So when we have that decision done by the hearing people or the society at large, you will notice that there could be an inequality in the form of education or in the form of other areas as well. Mm. And one of the national examination is SPM. Okay, and how SPM will look into the performance of both the deaf and the hearing students. And it should be equal. But however, when they apply for jobs, uh, although some companies look at the academic excellence, however, deaf people may or may not have that academic excellence, but they've got other abilities that they are good at. However, they are always override, and the companies usually chose a hearing person for that job. And this also happened in when I was growing up. A lot of autism is being used to hinder us or to take control of us, the deaf community. And mm, mm, and should the deaf people be employed, the various facilities should be provided. For example, the use of, we can't use the phone, but we can use other devices, our WhatsApp and other devices. Town hall meetings can have, a sign language interpreter when there is a meeting, the department meeting, or there's now some countries are using the video relay services, VRS for short. And so these are all some of the new devices is being used. When I was studying in US, I use a lot of VRS for my meetings with people, for my meetings with the academic staff and all that. And it really helps me in my work atmosphere or thing. And it's really make me more independent to be able to contribute in my occupation. And the third part I would like to bring up is that deaf people grow up deaf in terms of discrimination in education, or a time where they can't really follow the academic sessions. And and that hearing people or the medical field place more importance on the tools to make them hear and speak better, rather than for them to cope with being deaf and having a different pathway in teaching the deaf. And there is no which one has got the upper hand, whether you use a cochlear implant, whether you use a hearing aid, compared to that you use a sign language interpreter or you use sign language in your studies or in your academic. There is no upper hand of it. Both are of equal standing, and you may get the same results or somewhat. You will also notice that some of them who learn sign language can also achieve. However, the discrimination on accessibility is something that the deaf continues to overcome because of lack of information, because of lack of sign language interpreters to provide that information. And to summarize, I would like to just touch on ableism. Ableism is something that is the perspective is open and not to have the word you can do or can't, but it's a positive notion that yes, you can, and with the right care and with the right participation, uh, everything can succeed. And that you provide that opportunity for everyone to be able to receive education, to receive employment in their respective country. And to also provide the opportunity for deaf people to be a contributing member of the society by providing them the work that they can contribute. That's all for my presentation today, and that's how I would summarize that in my topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Tur Chung. We're going to go on to Alvin Teoh in a second. I just want to say something I forgot to say earlier, that people who are listening on, who are viewing this on live, Facebook Live, there's a comment box in there for you to leave your comments. We are monitoring, and so if you have anything that you want to say, please leave a message. Okay, so thank you, Andrew. It was a really interesting presentation, and anybody with questions for Andrew, please save them until the end. So now we go on to Alvin Teoh, who is a founding member and advisor of the National Support Group for people, for children and people with special needs. I don't know what whether you want to say anything about your son or not, but I leave it to you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, first of all, thank you so much, to Aliran for the invitation to speak in this forum. Okay, my name is Alvin Teoh, and I'm a father for a child who is born totally blind. Okay, he's now already 25 years old, and he was graduated from the USM last year, right? So I mean, the advocates or maybe involved with the parent support group and also advocates for the people with disabilities for 20 years already. So I think that's more or less my background. I think in the group here, or maybe the participants, many of them I can see from my parent support groups. Okay, welcome everyone. So I will have a slide to share in my presentation. So give me a minute, okay, to share my slides. So Lucy, let me know when you can see the slide.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. Okay. So
But you haven't, it's not on slide mode yet. Okay.
Okay, it's on slide mode right now from my end. So your
No,
slide, Tuck-Po, Lucy,
no, it's not.
not on slide mode.
No.
Yeah. No, don't worry about me. I listen more.
Okay, sure.
No,
Right.
but for everyone else, okay.
Okay, so I think let me start off with some definitions, and I will speak about this definition for a few slides before I go into the details, right? So the type of disabilities, okay, in Malaysia, okay, as per the welfare departments, JKM, altogether, 7 categories. I'll speak in mixed Bahasa and also English, right? So speech impairments, hearing impairments, visual impact, okay, learning difficulties, okay, mental disabilities, physical disabilities, and multiple disabilities, termasuk yang rare disease, right? So
Sorry,
ini adalah
sorry, Alvin, your slides are not moving. You're not moving your slide. We're just looking at the first one.
okay. Is the slide move already?
No, no.
I think I put it as in this mode. Okay, it's always a problem to use the presentation, right? Okay, so the type of disabilities. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you see when I move to the next slide?
Yes.
Okay, good. Right. So kalau ikut JKM, kita ada 7 categories, okay, disabilities. I think that's standard. And kategori ini adalah secara umum, very basic and very general. So there are still many areas that not covering, okay, especially those in the invisible with disabilities, right? So ini adalah dalam kita punya JKM dan juga Akta UKIO juga define 7 categories. So the next one tadi Tur Chung dan juga Lucy ada mention about visible and invisible disabilities. So visible adalah yang kita boleh nampak, what we can see. Invisible we cannot see. And Tur Chung mentions hearing impairments invisible, tak nampak. Kalau nampak orang itu, okay, dia tak bercakap, okay, kita pun tak tahu sama ada dia pekak atau bisu. Kita tak tahu. So macam biasa saja. So according to the Canadian, okay, they define this visible and invisible into 20 to 80%. So 20% are visible. Who are those visible? Okay, visually impaired. Okay, the person who are blind. Okay, the eyes, okay, not really looks normal. Okay, and maybe with tongkat. Okay, and those that on the wheelchair, okay, atau sebelah tangan, sebelah kaki, okay, those are bedridden, those are motor disability, very obvious and can see, okay, with our bare eye, boleh nampak dengan mata kasar kita, right? So invisible, okay, disabilities, this is a big group, 80%. Okay, mereka yang disabled because of diseases, okay, penyakit, okay, mental disabilities, those with dementia, okay, yang other mental challenges, okay, those hearing impairment, okay, those with intellectual disabilities like autism, okay, like ADHD, okay, epilepsies, okay. So di sini juga saya paparkan, okay, contoh-contoh, okay, invisible disabilities, asthma, okay, ASD, okay, brain injuries, okay, Crohn disease. Crohn disease adalah penyakit usus, okay, chronic pains, okay, dan sebagainya, termasuk rheumatoid arthritis. So ini adalah yang didefinisikan di Canada, right? Okay, next slides. Just would like to share some information that I got from Dr. Amasing. Okay, there are 5 stages of life for a person with disabilities. Okay, stage 1, 2, 3. Okay, from the diagnosis, early interventions, therapies, and also school at about 18, okay, 19 years old, sampai SPM. This is about 30% of the life for the person with disabilities. Okay, sampai 19 tahun. And many focus, okay, recently or maybe for the past, okay, 10 years, okay, on this area. So these are the stage that, okay, right now, many centers, many places, okay, many information resources that you can find and support these stages, stage 1 to 3. Okay, 25% of the life for the people with disabilities. Likewise, if you look at after SPM, selepas SPM, okay, transitions after school, okay, the college to college, universities, vocational training, employments, or some not able to work, okay, stage that's called stage 4. Then after that, okay, stage 5. I put it in red, okay, because this is the area that covering about 75% of the life for person with disabilities, and not much of activities or focus, okay, in this area, and we are still seeing very dominant through the so-called charity and PT models rather than the right or maybe inclusion model, right? Okay, so the next one I would like to share is the definitions of inclusions by the United Nations. So inclusion is a process of improving the participation in the society for those disadvantaged groups, okay, by age, okay, dari segi umur, dari segi kejantinan, okay, dari segi keupayaan, okay, atau ketidakupayaan, ethnicity, okay, economic background, atau migration status. So promoting social inclusion requires remove barriers, remove rintangan-rintangan to the people to participate into the society. Dia termasuklah macam perlukah perubahan dari segi undang-undang, dari segi policies ataupun institusi. Dan juga yang penting, changing of our attitude and behaviors to make the participation easier. So this is the part that I think we have a big problems in our society in Malaysia, right? So these are the few definitions I would like to share. And now let's go into the topic today, okay, the challenges that facing by the people with disabilities in Malaysia. So Lucy, I just put up the point over here and I will go into the details later. No worry, this will be very fast. Okay, so these are some things that, okay, challenging, okay, in the country, and many of them, many challenges. I would like to share this 8 points only due to some time limitation. So I'll go through one by one. Right. First of all, about the data. Okay, in Malaysia, okay, kita ada penduduk seramai 33.4 million, okay, reported, okay, dalam tahun 2023. Dan daripada 33.4 million ni, hanya 736,000 orang yang register dengan JKM kata mereka ini adalah OKU. So 736,000 ini adalah lebih kurang 2.2% of the total populations. Right. So antaranya, okay, physical disabilities dan learning difficulties are the most reported. Both reported about 265,000 each. So total up about 72%, okay, for this category. Let's look at, okay, what mentioned by World Health Organizations. Okay, in every nation, there are about 16% of the people are living with disabilities. More or less like 1 out of 6 of us are the people, okay, is the person with disabilities. And we look at the few countries, this is reported by the Department of Statistics Malaysia. Look at a few developed countries, Australia, 21.4%, okay, UK, 24%, okay, United States, okay, 13.9%, Malaysia, 2.2% only. So this is a big problem whereby, okay, this number itself is not really justified, okay, for the country to make certain decisions. For example, like the allocation of a fund, okay, the policies, okay, maybe it's a budget. Okay, 2.2% is just a minority. 700,000 orang saja berbanding dengan, okay, 32 juta. So ini adalah number yang sangat kecil, dan how to put focus in this small group of people. So this is the problem, okay, with the country where our statistic itself is not representing what is actually declared, okay, by many countries, and also has been recognized by the World Health Organization. Not only now, actually 10 years ago, I heard about 15%. Only 2023 increased to 16%. So many years ago already, but we are still at 2.2%, right? So second challenge that I'm seeing, okay, and in the countries, we can see the dominant is still at the charity model, whereby you see individuals as beneficiaries, and then we provide aids bagi bantuan ini bantuan itu, dan lebih kepada model yang charity dan pity, kesian. Okay, then individuals are treated as an object of charity and pity. And we need to depend on the charitable organizations, the donors and funders. Okay, whereas if you look at the right models, okay, it's more on the inclusion, how we can improve the participations into the society or into an organization, right? So people are empowered, respected, live with dignity, okay, and treated fairly. So all the stakeholders are upholding the access to the right. And when my son is studying in the inclusive model, okay, anak saya masuk inclusive model sejak tahun 4, okay, sekolah rendah sampai habis university. And I have all these features together, okay, that they're trying to work it out for him. But okay, the more we work on it, okay, fight for the rights, okay, especially the stakeholders. Okay, we have many people. Okay, we have teachers, we have the school managements, we have the governments, we have the PIBGs, and when we fight cases, when we fight for the rights, okay, and in the end, many times, okay, my son's becoming the victim. So this is the things that happening, okay, in the real life, okay, when we fight for some things for the children with disabilities, we parents, okay, facing we parents and also the children are facing this kind of challenges, and also the pressure from the stakeholders, right? So next, talk about the 1% civil society job policies for people with disabilities, 1988. Prosedur bagi memperuntukkan 1% peluang pekerjaan di sektor awam kepada orang-orang cacat. This is 1988, okay, declared in the parliament. Okay, 36 years later, 2022, okay, only 0.3% of the vacancies filled up by OKUs. To 0.3% out of the total 1.27 million, okay, working, okay, works in the government departments. Hanya 3,731 orang saja yang menjawat, okay, ke jawatan di sektor awam, okay. So what is the problem here? Where is the focus? Okay, why, okay, the people with disabilities are being discriminated, and 1%, okay, after 36 years, only 0.3%, right? So next slide is talking about employment issues. So many issues with employment issues from the selection process. Okay, we have a case whereby a graduate, first-class graduate, okay, show up in the interview, okay, as per the request by the employers, but he was given 50 ringgit to go back. Okay, he was the visual impaired, first-class visual impaired, and stigmatizations, stereotyping, okay. Kalau kita declare saja, okay, OKU dalam borang permohonan atau sebarang online permohonan, oops, itu saja. Okay, yang paling saya ingati sekarang adalah satu kes tahun lepas di mana seorang student, very top scholar students, bila apply UPU, dia adalah seorang OKU physical. Sebelah tangan itu ada masalah. So dia letak OKU daripada 700 pilihan yang ada dalam sistem UPU, bila letak sahaja OKU hanya 33 pilihan sahaja yang dia qualified, dan 33 pilihan itu semua adalah pilihan yang dia tidak minati. So this is the stereotyping that when OKUs only, these are the things that cannot do, that are the things that cannot do. Discrimination, I think, berluasa, and always comparison with the able bodies. These are the some of the employment issues that very frequently you can see, right? So look at some data, statistik, pelantikan OKU dalam perkhidmatan awam. Total permohonan, dalam tahun 2022, 3,777 orang. Jumlah dilantik hanya 71 orang. Dan in between, mana pergi? Ada yang tidak dipanggil untuk temudega, ada temudega tapi tak dapat. Hanya 71 orang saja daripada 3,777 orang. So ini adalah data dalam tahun 2022. Next, I would like to talk about few cases, discriminations. Yang ni, first one, blind spot in banking. Ini happen kepada seorang lecturer, senior lecturer dekat Universiti Malaya. Dia adalah seorang visually impaired. Dia dapat housing loan daripada bank. Lepas tu 2 hari kemudian, bank kata reject disebabkan dia adalah OKU. Case kedua, autistic, public services, working as a psychologist officer under contract. When he applied for a permanent positions, he was rejected because he's an OKU. Right, the third case, I think this is just happened, earlier this year, di Terengganu, OKU, di Heret, di Jalan Raya, right? So these are some discriminations, the few cases, right, that I would like to share here. And next challenge, this is very common, and again, I would like to say this is more towards the attitudes problem. Everybody's, semua orang tahu, semua orang sudah ajar, dan banyak information sudah share kata jangan block tempat design untuk PWD, and signboard besar, kita pun nampak apa yang berlaku, tapi masih ada, di Pulau Tikus, Pulau Pinang, banyak orang blind people. Di Brickfield, banyak blind people. Kita masih nampak banyak motosikal, banyak kereta, parking atas tactile paving, right? And yang satu lagi, OKU car park. Yang ni semua orang sudah tahu, tapi tengok kereta ni parking 2 tempat OKU car park. So I would like to bring this again because this is something that we need to keep advocates, and this is more to attitude change, rather than the knowledge or awareness, right? Next, poor PWD friendly facilities. Yang pertama, macam mana ni wheelchair nak naik ramp macam ni? Ada ramp, ada, boleh pakai ya? Tak boleh pakai. The second one in Putrajaya, the tactile paving. In between the tactile paving, there are trees that are planted. So how is the blind people going to walk? We don't know who is the designers that come up with this fantastic idea. And the third one, lagi hebat. Staircase untuk wheelchair. Ini equalities opportunities. Semua orang treated as the same. orang biasa naik tangga, okay, orang wheelchair naik tangga juga. So this is the problem with the facilities in our countries, right? So next slide is talking about another challenge, bullying and sexual abuse. Okay, I put up here three recent cases also. Okay, pengawal pengiring VIP tumbuk muka pemandu e-hearing OKU. This one happened to a deaf person. Okay, and the second one, senior citizen, okay, raping mentally challenged relative. This just happened, okay, 10 days ago. Okay, 15th of April 2025, okay, in Penang. And the next one is warga emas cabu wanita, okay, OKU, didenda 8,000 ringgit. Okay, ini adalah case di Sibu. So, berleluasa, bully and sexual abuse, right? Okay, so these are the 8 so-called challenges that facing by the people with disabilities that I put up here. There's still many, okay, but still a timing issue. Okay, with this kind of challenges, with this kind of issues going on and on, okay, in the countries, okay, for after 36 years, only 0.3% out of the 1% that declared in the parliament in 1988. So as the parents of PWDs, okay, it's always a nightmare and it's always in our mind that what will happen to our child with disabilities when I die? There's no peaceful for us. Parents of PWD, okay, how to rest in peace, how to die in peace. They say all these kind of things are happening, right? So this is ridiculous, right? So to parent of people with disabilities, we always, okay, acknowledge the disabilities isn't in their abilities. We always put aside the disabilities and we try to see what are the things that, what are the abilities that our children can do. Okay, what are the people, what are the areas that our children can do to survive in the countries. So I know the governments, okay, the United Nations has been used the word disabilities. As a parents and many parents out there, okay, we disagree with the word disabilities. Our children, okay, have their abilities in a different way, okay. So sometimes, okay, when we talk to parents, I use the word disabilities, the people will complain, okay, the people will be not happy. So we rather use the word kelainan, okay, orang kelainan upaya, okay. It sounds not so, okay, bad to our children, like kelainan upaya, okay, right. So in my following slides, I have a few pictures to show what are the general public, or maybe you and me can do, okay, to accelerate the inclusion of people with disabilities in Malaysian society.
Can I interrupt? You have 10 minutes to go.
Yep, sure. So again, do not block public places designed for PWD. And very obvious, okay? We have tactile paving. We have many right now in Penang. We have many in KL. Okay, even in some of the supermarkets. We also have this. Okay, if you don't block this, okay, it's safe for the people with visual impact, and also safe for the people like children and also those people are pregnant ladies. Okay, if let's say they're standing, they're walking on this tactile paving, okay, and they're not by the visual impact. So what is going to happen to the pregnant lady or maybe the children, right, playing on the tactile paving and the OKU car park, right? So please, I think this is something that we all can do, okay? Just a change of the attitude, right? Next one. Support the PWD projects. So as a parents, I think many parents out there also, they are trying their best to see what can they do together, okay? What can they do to support their children with disabilities? I'm showing up here a few projects done by the parents. Okay, the first one is in SP. So this is the cafe by a parents for children with neurodivergence. Okay, they got the order from the children home, the home for the old folks, okay, from the school, from the events, okay, and the second one is from the famous place right now, Putra Height, okay, urban farming. The third one, okay, this one is ACP, Autism Cafe project by Encik Adli. Inilah adalah Lokman, okay, anak pada Encik Adli. So visit these places, okay, and try to understand, okay, try to see how good are they, okay. They have many things that they can do in the cafe. Example, like for Lokman, he like to play water, okay. The father placed him into the place that to wash dishes, okay. For those people that can do things like, okay, to bake the cake, okay, they're put in the kitchen, okay, they're put in the bakery, okay. For those people that can clean up the table, okay, they will go to clean up the table. So to see what can they do, what is their abilities, right? So those that can do farming, they go for farming, right? So if let's say you see these are places, please support them, okay. Visit them, and if let's say you got a chance to recommend some customers to them, okay, please help these projects. And this is the place in Puchong, okay, whereby this PERCOP, the organization, the parent support group, okay, setting up the line for the packing of the cutleries, and they got a project from AW, right? So the next one is from Penang. So there's so many beautiful artworks, unique artworks coming from the people with disabilities. And if our prime minister announced that all the government departments, agencies, or maybe ministries, when they have their functions, dinners or whatever, the gift or door gift, must come from people with disabilities. If our PM make that direction or announcement, it will benefit hundreds or maybe thousands of people with disabilities, especially from the people with the learning difficulties categories. Okay, so many talented people, in this area, from the people with the learning difficulties, right? Next is hire PWDs. These are the untapped resources, rather than to get the foreigners, like Starbucks, they hire the people with the regional impact, as a staff. And we have also Pure Lotus Cafe in Penang, just opposite the hospital, hire the PWDs working as staff cafe, and they serve vegetarian food. There are so many doctors, walk over, to the cafe to take their lunch every day. So many benefits. If let's say the employer employ the people with disabilities, example like double tax deductions, from their salaries, you got the free, not free, sorry, you can claim the equipment that you spend to support the people with disabilities. You can get the claims for the training. And if let's say you need a job coach, JCAM also can provide a job coach, to the employers, and it's free of charge, to the employers. So many of them, right? Next slide is about including the PWDs in all kinds of events and activities. We have activities, events almost every week, or maybe a few times in a month, in Penang. This is one of the example in 2023, business event Penang. There's so many speakers, professional speakers, international speakers, and they also invited, two PWDs, to speak, together with all these professionals and international speakers, and they are trying to work out something to break the barriers and ask these two people to speak about making events and travels industry more inclusive, okay, for the people with disabilities, right? So include, okay, all our children's, all our PLDs, okay, or this in this kind of big events, right? Yeah, this is another one that happening right now, okay, 25th to 27th April 2025, okay, and tomorrow, okay, I managed to get two people to come in the to the event, okay, and they are going to perform on the stage, very beautiful and also very luxury stage, and we have a surprise, okay, a surprise team, okay. I managed to get the organizer to allocate 30 minutes, okay, for our show. So please come over, okay, if you have a time, okay. Satya Spice, okay, 25th, 27th April, tomorrow, noontime, 12 o'clock. We give you a surprise. All right, so I think more or less my presentations, okay, it's almost the end, and thank you very much for listening. Back to you, Tapo. Thank you.
Thank you for this very interesting talk. Can we, let's see, go back to gallery? Gallery, I guess. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you. Let's see, we have a few comments here. Okay, from Facebook, someone called Joe Yap, a retired teacher at SSD KL. Years ago, as far as I know, there is no high school that caters solely for the deaf in Malaysia. So that's good that we now have them. Question for Alvin. Alvin? Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Do we have temporary disability status in Malaysia? For example, would cancer and stroke patients be able to get temporary OKU card during the time they undergo treatment before they require or acquire any permanent disability for a permanent OKU card? Do we have temporary status?
I never heard about the temporary OKU card.
Yeah, so okay.
Yeah.
No. Rani says DIB Deaf in Business located Damansara. And Young Karim asks, students at Pendidikan Khas won't get to take SPM, right? Where's yeah, Tur Chung?
Now there's been a change. Previously, the deaf people are encouraged to take SPM, but there has been a shift now that they are asked to do the vocational. They can do the vocational certificate or education, and so it has tremendously decreased the number of those who are taking SPM.
Wow. So all those only the deaf students or any kind?
No, it's including both.
Yeah, it's both. It's open to and as far as I know, most of the children with special needs, the LD, don't take SPM.
Well, that's quite unfair.
Yeah, because however, those who are high function would be able to take SPM and not otherwise.
The government have additional, okay, vocational syllabus for people with disabilities. So they have the options, okay, SPM or vocational, okay, syllabus.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, the vocational syllabus that Alvin mentioned is the PPKI, Pendidikan Khas. For those who take SPM, that is for the LD, learning disability, those they call it inclusive.
Sorry, PPKI, they also have two. Okay, one is vocational, and the other one is the formal educations, the SPM.
But that one is those who can study in the normal stream, correct?
Yeah, those that can follow the educations, formal educations, then they will go for the formal educations. Those that cannot follow the formal educations, then they got the options, okay, can go for the vocational training across all the disabilities group. It's not only for the deaf or maybe the learning difficulties. For the blind, visually impaired also the same.
Understood.
Are there
Sorry, my name is Rani.
are there any more questions or comments? Is there anything that Tur Chung and would like to say to Alvin, and Alvin would like to say to Tur Chung? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe a few words from me. Okay, recommendations, especially to the governments and some agencies. Okay, we need a more aggressive drive and action from the top leaders in the countries. Like what I mentioned before, that if let's say the governments, the prime ministers can make an announcement that to have all the give, don't give from the people with disabilities, that will help a lot. Okay, and you see the example from our neighboring country, okay, Singapore. Okay, the wife of the ex-prime minister, okay, Lee Hsien Loong, take the handbag that made by the people with autism and share and tell the people, okay, and try to advocate, okay, for the people with disabilities. I think that's very powerful, and you can see the result, and you can see the impact, okay, to the overall, okay, society. And the second one is on the Department of Statistics. I think that is something that's really very, very okay, stacked, and we need a tremendous improvement, okay, to show up the data to the correct representation. Okay, if talking about 16%, and plus, if let's say every families, they only have average another two immediate dependents, okay, 2%. So that will be equivalent to 48%. And 48%, okay, from the families of people with disabilities, that is a big number, and this will be a very huge impact. Okay, if let's say that's the numbers that reported correctly, okay, to the overall, okay, society, Malaysian society, and that's definitely will help to, in terms of policies making, in terms of the fund allocation, in terms of the budget, they will make a lot of difference.
Okay. I have a question for Tur Chung. Tur Chung. On the question of linguistic discrimination that you were talking about earlier, can you explain to me what is the difference between BIM and KTBM? Bahasa Isyarat and the other one, the older one. Kod Tangan Bahasa Malaysia.
Hmm. Just give a moment because I see some frozen screen. The BIM is the natural language that used by the deaf people. And it's also developed by the deaf or the deaf community. However, the KTM, Kod Tangan Bahasa Melayu, KTBM, is basically a word order or verbatim, word-to-word order, and the sign is also on the word-to-word order rather than the grammar and the structure.
Okay.
Follow the spoken language. And so just like you would type in the computer your sentences, so KTPM is like that. You put one word, and expect it to become like a sentences, very robotic. Well, the BIM is a language by the deaf that it has its own language and structure, and it follows not word order, but more on your body language, facial feelings, and all that into it rather than the KTBM. KTBM is good. It helps in terms of writing, but it does not apply on spoken language and the word order. Yeah. So that's the difference. However, KTBM only helps the teacher in thinking and in signing in word order rather than context order.
Okay. All right. Um, let's see. What's a good example?
I just want to add that in the forthcoming year 2027, we are happy to say that BIM is going to be introduced in all schools, regardless whether it is Sekolah Aliran or even Sekolah Khas, a language or what we call a language, just like a elective language in all schools for all children to take up.
Okay. Good. Um, uh, before I go on, there are two more comments. Young Karim, Yana Karim, asked Alvin, they got the option, but do the schools allow that option to the special needs students? I'm not sure what she was talking about.
Hi, Yana. Okay, Alvin here. So I think yes, the school allow the children to pick which options they want to go, and sometimes I think or many times I can see parents make decisions for their children.
Okay, this is the other question about children's autonomy, because so much is being decided by the parents that I wonder about what kind of conflicts arise within families. Young Karim asked a question for Tur Chung. How many high schools for the deaf are there in Malaysia? And what would you suggest to the education minister so that the hearing school teachers at the schools will learn BIM and teach BIM, the official sign language, instead of using KTBM?
For now, the schools are already on the bahagian pendidikan khas, and they have placed KTBM as the first mode of teaching, because in the surat perkeliling, it states that BIM is only like an elective or supporting the education method. But there has been a lot of just a clarification from the interpreter. And many students have raised their concern or their complaints that they do not understand the hearing teachers who are using KTBM, but it's the hearing teachers' preference to use KTBM because it's much more easier to teach because of the word order. But it does not make sense to the students, and most of them don't understand. They prefer BIM to KTBM. So for a wider perspective, it's better to use BIM. And even some students and all that say that they don't know how to use BIM or whatever, but I noticed that they are using BIM. And some of them don't know the difference between the KTBM or the BIM.
Okay. We have another question here from Mary Madeline Pereira. Has the senator who is OKU representative in the Senate been effective in promoting OKU rights through related laws and policies? It's an open question, so Alvin can also answer if you want.
Yeah, I let Lucy finish first.
Yeah. Done.
Okay, so to me, I don't see and don't hear so much about this senator compared to the previous senator. Very quiet. I don't know, frankly speaking, I don't know what is he doing.
Yeah, that's what Tur Chung is also nodding. Yeah, I don't see him participate in any of the communities for OKU. I only see him like, in one of the communities who are like hard of hearing and all that, but truly not in the heart of the people with disabilities in general.
Yes,
Okay.
agree.
So one of the things that people need to do is write to the senator and see what he's doing.
Yeah, I think there was an offer letter that sent out by the group called Harapan OKU, okay, to talk about this also. After the letter also, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
That was, I think, about maybe a year ago already that the letters are sent out. When the letter sent out, many of us signed off the letter.
Yep, agree. Yeah, and To Chung said, I think this must be consistent. Don't think that we've sent the letter and that's it. We'll just wait. But it should be a continuous effort for us to push for things, for us to push and get him to respond.
Okay. So this is a question for Tur Chung from Jonah Ong. Have you experienced or visited the deaf schools in the US? What's the difference between the US and US and Malaysians deaf schools? Do you think we can adapt the dual language model like the US has here in Malaysia to teach in BIM or use BIM to teach instead of KTBM? Oh, did you go to Gellert, the Deaf University, for your PhD?
Okay, I did not study at the Gallaudet University, but I am studying at the University of, just a moment, the interpreter trying to get, Tennessee, the University of Tennessee. I'm studying that because it is a university only for not only for the deaf, but for both hearing and deaf students to study together. It is an inclusion one. And I have the services provided to deaf students in the university was fantastic. I had all the time had two interpreters who accompany me in most of my studies. And I have visited a school for the deaf there, and they use the bicultural mode of education. And it is accepted by the school, where they support the foundation of sign language, which is similar to BIM, but they also place emphasis on written English. So it's a bi-model, written and sign language method. Yeah, but I foresee in Malaysia, I would call it a trilingual, because we have Bahasa, we have written Bahasa, written English, and also BIM. Yeah, so our students here would face a challenge. So it's very similar to the Chinese schools or the Tamil schools in Malaysia, where they learn the national language, Bahasa English, and the Chinese language. So I guess it would be the same with the deaf. 3 languages.
He asked, what is the differences? I think you answered that already. Do you think we can adapt the dual language model here in Malaysia to teach in BIM, or use BIM to teach instead of KTPM?
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't answer that, because we are all governed by our Surat Pekeliling and also with our Ministry of Education. However, we can continuously advocate for our students in school. And I know about 30, 40 years ago, the Malaysian Federation of the Deaf president has put forth this same the same idea. And I know of countries like Taiwan, China, and China, Hong Kong, and Japan have, like, similar thing that's happening, and they have also advocate.
Okay. Young Karim says there's no senator representing OKU, only an OKU senator representing Wilayah Persekutuan. Is that right?
So Yana, that's the reason why people that out from Wilayah Persekutuan, we don't know what is happening.
Any other questions? Is there any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Going 3 times? Okay, maybe by way of concluding, I like Alvin and Tur Chung to say a few words before we go.
Yeah, Tur Chung, you go first.
All right. I hope that all parent support group continuously work alongside an NGO or the persons with disability already for better services, for the betterment, and then work one thing at a time rather than to rush through and say I need to do this, let's do this and all that. Let's look at the issues and settle it one at a time. I think then we will be more successful than glumping everything and everything we want to do. Just hold on. And in parliament, we also have to work with the local communities to advocate, and also maybe work on the general election, get people elected, politicians or people who want to fight for the different issues, so that we can work alongside and get recognition for the work that we want to do.
Tur Chung, just now you said to parents group, maybe it might be better to focus on one issue at a time. So if it was you, what issue would you focus first right now?
Okay, for me, I would want to go into a language, the BIM, and also to strengthen the use and cause of BIM is to have further research done on our Bahasa Isyarat Malaysia, which is lacking. There's not much research done on it.
Yeah, Anthony Chong is one of the few researchers here.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, before we go on to Alvin, there's some message here that comes in from Dunstan Lim. There is not enough skills development opportunities beyond the school-going years, especially in terms of qualifying to enter an institution. What are your thoughts on this, Alvin and Tur Chung? Alvin?
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't get it here. Is it in the chat box?
Yeah, there is not enough skills development opportunities beyond the school-going years, he says, Dunstan Lim, especially in terms of qualifying to enter institutions. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, beyond school, okay, a lot of challenges and very less opportunity as the focus, okay, after school is not really, okay, properly in place, okay, in the country. So there's still a lot of charity and PT model rather than the right models or maybe the inclusion model, okay, that to support the inclusion of people with disabilities in the country.
Tur Chung? Tur Chung?
As soon as I just returned back to Malaysia after several years in US. I would say the different NGOs have got different strength in working some areas. So if we can collaborate, different NGOs work on something concrete or work on something to better have these facilities, then I think we have a stronger collaboration and stronger support for any individuals with persons with disabilities.
I think that is the big challenge, that to have all the NGOs to work together, okay, to address the issues. I think for those people that I think involved with the so-called advocacy and journey together with different kind or different NGOs, I think we know all the issues that are happening.
Yep.
Okay. Henry Lowe says an informative and enlightening discussion. You should have a follow-up and authorities should take note of the recommendations made. Alvin, would you like to end with a nice little whatever?
Yeah, thanks, Tapo. So I would like to echo a few words from Dr. Amar Singh. Okay, he mentions that persons with disabilities are the gift to the society, not the burden, right? The PWDs help to integrate and unify the communities. Okay? They can act as a kind of cement that binds people together. This is their role in the society. PWDs offer communities an opportunity to find purpose and hope and joy, and especially in our lost and frantic world, they offer meaning to relationship and life. So just want to quote two examples, okay, right for the sites that organized at Seneca's home, Penang in 2014. We involved many thousands of people, okay, to come for cycling together from various backgrounds, from various professional, from various, okay, economic background, okay, and we ride together with the blind peoples, okay. Because of the blind peoples, okay, we bind all these people together. And maybe in their office, okay, these people are not, okay, together, okay, not always, okay, like talk to each other, this kind of things. But people with disabilities can act as a role and act as a kind of cement that bind people together. And another example is inclusion campaign that organized by UNICEF, okay, in Malaysia, okay, and together with Manchester United football club in Malaysia. We don't know these people at all, okay, and all of a sudden we were invited by UNICEF to join this kind of campaign. And we went over, we met with the filmmakers, we met with the few hundred people, okay, well, from the clubs, okay, and we have fun together, okay, and we don't know each other at all, right? So this is what mentioned by Dr. Amar Singh as these people are the gift for the society. And again, okay, all of us together here, because of people with disabilities, these people are the cement that bind us together today, that we meet each another. I don't know who is Tapo until Tapo sent me a WhatsApp message. Hey, do you want to join us for this forum or not? So I don't know who is Tur Chung. Okay, and somebody asked me, is Tur Chung a teacher from the deaf school? Is he able to speak? I don't know who is Lucy, right? So again, the PWDs is not, it's the gift, okay, for the society. Then don't always think that PWDs is the burden to the society. Yeah, with that, thank you, everyone.
And before we go, I like to say something. I forgot to thank our interpreter, Miss Lucy Lim, for doing a good job. And Henry Lowe says thank you to everyone. Dunstan Lim pula says most opportunities available would be through CSOs or NGOs, but not much opportunities or help through government agencies and ministries, which is true, by the way. Many are still left without much directions and opportunities, and they are hoping corporate to take it up on their CSR, but more could be done. And then one more from Yana Karim. Thank you, Aliran, for organizing this webinar. Hopefully there'll be many follow-ups, as disability rights have many intersections and different disability cultures exist in Malaysia. I suggest Aliran to also host a webinar on the PWD Act in the future. Okay, that one is a Anil. Anil says, terima kasih everyone for being a part of this webinar, and thanks to our speakers, Andrew and Tur Chung, and Lucy as well, for this enlightening and inspiring presentation. Let's continue to work for a more inclusive Malaysia, where no one is excluded or left behind. This is the first time we have reached 100 participants for our webinars. Shabas, all of you. And also just a little bit of promo. If you would like to join Aliran, Anil has provided the link here, and follow our website. Aliran often publishes press statements on challenges faced by PWDS. If you can't get to the link here, the link is aliran.com. It's very simple. Anil says, Jocelyn Yap says, thank you to all in the bond of sharings. Anil says, we never expected so many people. Our Zoom package only allows 100 maximum participants, unfortunately, so time to upgrade. Thank you for sharing. And may I also thank everyone for agreeing to my invitation to participate in this afternoon's program. I don't know that we have explored all the issues or that we have come to some kind of agreement or whatever. Tur Chung, wish your students good luck for me. And the presentation will be on YouTube when we put it up in a few days. And Thank you again from Youngna Karim. Okay, so thank you. Unless anyone's got anything else to say. No. Okay. Okay. Goodbye then.
Bye,
Okay, bye
everybody.
everyone.